So in this presentation, we are just going through the pollution control process of various industries such as textile industry, tannery industry and paper industry. So first of all, we will go through the tannery industry. Tannery industry means leather industry because we are using the skins of various animals and we are undergoing various treatment on that skin of the animals and we are processing it and we are making into leather so that we can use that leather to make various types of accessories, bags, etc. So pollution from tannery industry, it is mainly due to the water pollution. So that waste effluent or the waste water that is coming out from the tannery industry, if it is not treated and if it is just exposing to the surroundings or just disposing to the water bodies, it affects the water bodies. It affects the physical, chemical and biological properties of water. Physical property is nothing but turbidity, then color, temperature, odor, etc. And chemical characteristics means it varies. The pH can vary, the hardness can vary, then the presence of various chemicals will be there. So, for example, sulfide will be the ammonium, nitrite, nitrate. So, various physical characteristics are there in that water, so it can change. Then the biological properties of water, mainly the BOD, that is the biological oxygen demand. It is nothing but the amount of oxygen required for the biological decomposition of organic matter. So if BOD, if it is there in the water, it shows the presence of organic matter, and the amount of dissolved oxygen content that is present in the water also get reduced due to this various chemicals. So this physical, chemical and biological properties of water varies. And the tannery industry, why this varies is that the tannery industry uses various chemicals such as lime, caustic soda, ammonium bisulfate for the various process, because leather has to undergo various process. So we are taking the skin of the animals. So if you want to convert into leather, there are around 6 or 7 steps are there. So various chemicals are used for each and every process. So it tremendously it affects the quality of water, and the tannery waste, they have to be treated well before disposing to the surroundings. The biological decomposition of organic matter, as well as the presence of sulfide and ammonia emissions that is from the wastewater, they are responsible for the odor from the tannery industry. So the tannery effluent contains objectionable odors due to the presence of sulfide and also the ammonia that is emitting from the wastewater. And also various types of chemicals we are using for finishing the skin or for finishing the leather. So there we are using, in this leather industry, we are using various types of chemicals. So the solvent vapors and the gas emissions that is coming from the effluent, that is also very dangerous. Now we will go through what all control methods we can adopt to reduce the pollution from tannery industry. So chemical air scrubber we can use, that is to eliminate the odor nuisance in the tannery wastewater treatment plant. That is one method we can adopt, that is using the chemical air scrubber, so that the odor nuisance we can reduce it. Then the tannery waste, we can treat it in oxidation ditches. It is a treatment unit where we can treat the tannery waste effluent, so that the BOD I have already explained to you. So BOD we can reduce from 1000 milligram per liter to 20 milligram per liter, because if you are treating this tannery effluent using the proper unit. Here the unit, it is oxidation ditch we can use it. It is very useful because we can reduce the BOD. Only if the BOD is up to 30 milligram per liter, then it is safe to dispose. If the BOD in the effluent after treatment, if it is greater than 30 milligram per liter, it is a violation against the CPCB standard. CPCB means it's nothing but it's a Central Pollution Control Board standard, says that after treating the industrial waste, the effluent that is coming out after treating should contain maximum BOD of 30 milligram per liter. Then only we can safely dispose that effluent to the water. So we can reduce it to an extent. Oxidation ditch is a unit. It is an earthen unit which is a long continuous channel where you are just disposing this effluent and you are aerating it also, so that what happens is that in the presence of oxygen, the decomposition takes place and the BOD load will be get reduced. So tannery waste we can treat it using the oxidation test. Then another method is that the smell that is caused by the putrefaction of the solid and the liquid waste. The solid and liquid waste are there generated in the tannery operation. So that smell we can reduce it by quickly disposing it without allowing for putrefaction. We should not keep that effluent for putrefaction. Before that we have to dispose it. So another method of controlling the pollution from tannery industry is using the aerobic biological method of effluent treatment, and another one is dewatering the sludge. Aerobic biological method of effluent treatment is nothing but the effluent we can pass into various biological treatment unit, especially oxidation pond or stabilization pond we can use it. So it is nothing but it is a pond which is made up of earthen basin where we are disposing this tannery effluent or wastewater, and we are allowing some aerators also inside to supply sufficient amount of oxygen. So in the presence of oxygen there are bacteria that can survive in the presence of oxygen, that is aerobic bacteria. So this aerobic bacteria, what it does is that it decomposes the organic matter that is present in the wastewater, and the effluent coming from the pond will be of that order will be less. So that is one of the method, and another one is that dewatering of this sludge. So dewatering the sludge means after treatment you can see the effluent will be on the top and the sludge means that solids will be deposited at the bottom. So when we take the sludge out, it contains bad odor. So this sludge contains around 95 to 98% moisture. So always it is better to reduce the moisture. We have to dewater. We have to remove the water content or moisture present in the sludge. That is the dewatering method. So if you are removing that that moisture content present in the sludge, we can dispose after removing that moisture. We can dispose that sludge onto the sand drying bed, or by using vacuum filtration we can remove that water and we can just lay it on the sand drying bed and we can dry it and we can use that sludge for irrigation purpose, etc. So in order to reduce the smell, these two methods are very good. That is aerobic biological method of effluent treatment and dewatering of sludge, which can be done by using this vacuum filtration, and also we can use sand drying bed also. Just you pour this sludge onto a sand drying bed. From there, in the presence of sunlight, the moisture will be get evaporated, leaving the solid part there. So this is one of the option. Another one is that using the cleaner technology or cleaner production. That is cleaner technology that is adopted in industry in order to reduce the air pollution. That is using some cleaner fuel such as biogas, etc. We can reduce the pollution. So in any industry, not only in other industry, in any industry, the industries has to undergo this cleaner technology in order to reduce the air pollution. Then anaerobic digestion systems can be used to convert the tannery waste into energy efficiently. Always the aerobic digestion process are not done in certain industries of tannery. In some tannery industry they undergoes, that is effluent undergoes some anaerobic digestion. Anaerobic digestion in the presence of anaerobic bacteria. So this anaerobic bacteria normally they can survive even without the presence of oxygen also. So if there is no oxygen, then there the decomposition takes place, but the odor that is emitting from the anaerobic digestion systems are very higher. Bad odor it produces. So this anaerobic digestion system, when it undergoes, what happens is that various types of gases in anaerobic digestion treatment process, mainly carbon dioxide and methane gas is produced too much compared to the aerobic digestion system. And this gas that is emitting from this digestion units, we can store in gas domes, and those gases, that is carbon dioxide and the methane emissions from the gas domes, from the treatment units, can be stored in the gas domes, and it can be used for domestic purpose also. And in order to reduce that odors, we can use the anaerobic digestion system also, because the energy we can use it, that is energy from the tannery waste we can convert it into energy which can be efficiently use it. to eliminate the methane emissions and odor, which these emissions will be collecting in a gas term source, which is not allowed to go into the atmosphere. So these are the different control methods or that we can adopt to prevent the pollution. We cannot prevent the pollution, to an extent we can control it. Next is about the textile industry. In textile industry, for caloric annual, we are using different types of dyes and we are using various chemicals also. So the effluent that is coming from the textile industries contains various chemicals also, which also changes the physical, chemical and biological characteristics of the water. So in order to control the pollution from the textile industries, we can use elastomeric spindle. That is, by providing this elastomeric spindle, the noise level in the spinning section, that is spinning section is there for the textile, that we can reduce. Noise is one of the most important pollution that is coming from the textile industry. So if you are using the elastomeric spindle, the noise leveling in the spinning section we can reduce to an extent. And the generation of noise can be prevented by using the vibration isolators, which absorb the noise. So the noise pollution during the running of the machine could be reduced by proper maintenance also, by aligning this machine properly, then gear fittings, by lubricating the machines, etc. We can reduce the noise pollution that is emitting from the, especially from the machines used in the textile industry. And the part should be replaced by nylon, which is a resilient material and it produces less sound. So complete enclosures around the room, it will reduce the level of noise from 30 decibel to around 60 decibel. And if you are replacing the parts with the resilient materials like nylon, we can reduce the noise of the loom also. And this vibration isolators, it prevent the generation of noise. That is very important point as a control method to prevent the noise pollution using the vibration isolators. And this damping or foamed coating surface, also it reduces the amplitude of the noise that is generating from the textile industry. Now next moving to the paper industry. So pollution from this paper industry, it is mainly the water pollution because of various chemicals we are using in the pulping process, such as caustic soda, sodium sulfide, sodium carbonate, calcium bisulfate, magnesium bisulfate or ammonium bisulfate, etc. Various chemicals we are using for pulping process. So pulp is converted into paper. So the effluent that is coming from this raw material preparation section is always low in BOD and also this COD. And the effluent also contains floating and readily settlable solids such as dirt, grit and sand also. And this pulp washing effluent, it is highly colored with the pH. It contains suspended solids. It contains BOD and COD. So BOD and COD I have already mentioned in the earlier videos. BOD is nothing but it is a amount of oxygen required for the biological decomposition of organic matter that is present in this wastewater. And COD is nothing but it is a chemical oxygen demand. That is the amount of oxygen required for the oxidation of inorganic matters present in the wastewater. Then various different pollution control methods to reduce the pollution for paper industry is that first of all, before disposing this waste water or the paper effluent into the water bodies, we have to undergo the treatment. That is, the waste water should be treated well before disposing in order to reduce the pollution of water. So otherwise what happens is that the physical, the chemical and the biological characteristics of the water bodies get changed due to the waste effluent. So the most important treatment that normally given for the paper effluent, it is activated sludge treatment. In that activated sludge process, we can reduce the BOD load of the effluent to about 90 to 95%. From 80% to 90% of BOD we can reduce, but maximum 95% we can reduce the BOD load, and we can safely dispose that effluent to the surroundings or to the water bodies. So just for you to understand, I am explaining activated sludge treatment is nothing but the various units we are using. Primary settling tank, that is the first tank. Then second tank, it is the aeration tank. Third tank, it is the secondary settling tank or secondary clarifier. So the first tank, it is primary settling tank. To remove the larger solids, we are using that tank, so that 1.5 hours or 2 hours we are providing that effluent. Within that, we are keeping that effluent in the primary settling tank. So what happens is that after that particular period of time, the solids of larger type will be settling at this bottom. And then thereafter that effluent from the primary tank will be sent into the aeration tank. There we are providing aerators so that it provides sufficient amount of oxygen. So there the biological decomposition of organic matter takes place in the help of oxygen. So that is known as the aerobic treatment. So then after that the effluent will be sending to the secondary settling tank. So that is the third unit that is provided within the activated sludge treatment process. So in the secondary settling tank again we are giving a detention period of say 2 to 4 hours. And after that particular detention time, because we are detaining or retaining that water during that particular period 2 hours to 4 hours, then the sludge will be settled at the bottom of the tank. The effluent will be taken out from the secondary settling tank. And the sludge that is deposited at the bottom. So that sludge, about 20 to 35% of the sludge we can take it and we can return it again back to the aeration tank. അത് കുറച്ചെടുത്തിട്ട് പിന്നെയും aeration ടാങ്കിലേക്ക് കുറച്ച് sludge എടുത്തിട്ട് rotate ചെയ്യും, return ചെയ്യും. That is a return sludge, which is the activated sludge that is mainly used to activate the biological oxidation process within the aeration tank. So that is why the name activated sludge treatment. So if you are providing this after the activated sludge process, the final effluent BOD load will be very less than 30 milligram per liter, and we can safely dispose that paper effluent to the surroundings or to the water bodies. That is one of the most important method that is used to treat the paper effluent, that is activated sludge treatment. And another method, it is aerated lagoon, can also be used to treat the paper effluent. But before subjecting that effluent to this aerated lagoons, we have to remove the suspended solids by primary treatment. Primary treatment means allowing that wastewater, it is sent to a primary tank, and we are giving about 1 to 2 hours detention time there, so that the suspended solids will be settling at this bottom. Then only we are sending that effluent to the aerated lagoons. So aerated lagoons is nothing but it is also an earthen basin, where we are just providing the effluent into the aerated lagoons, and we are providing the aerator also within that lagoon to aerate the sewage. So by using this activated sludge treatment process and aerated lagoons, we can reduce the pollution of the reduce the pollution that is created by the effluent. So oxidation ponds or stabilization ponds. So this aerobic pond is also another name for aerobic pond. It is oxidation pond or stabilization pond. This oxidation pond, depending upon the depth we are providing, we can call it as aerobic pond or anaerobic pond or facultative pond, like that. So if we are providing oxidation pond of shallow depth, the aerobic decomposition takes place in the presence of oxygen, because the sunlight will be penetrating deeper into the pond because it's a shallow pond. And if you are providing deeper depth, say up to 4 meter, what happens? Top will be aerobic decomposition, the bottom will be anaerobic decomposition. In the absence of oxygen, decomposition takes place at the bottom. So that is known as anaerobic pond. So oxidation pond is another name for stabilization pond. So either we can use this oxidation pond, or we can use the aerated lagoon, or we can use this activated sludge process, that is to treat the paper effluent. And the chemical coagulants such as alum, iron salts in combination with the lime can be used to remove the color of the paper mill effluent. And the lime treatment, it removes about 90% of color, and it reduces 20 to 40% of BOD from the colored pulp mill effluent. Another method, it is activated carbon treatment or resin adsorption treatment or ozone treatment can be given, that is to reduce the color of the paper effluent. So giving both primary and secondary treatment, we can reduce the suspended solids, we can reduce the BOD and COD that is present in the paper effluent.